they used to have a store in LA where the walls were lined with Jerry McGuire tapes. They have the Guinness.
What?
They have the Guinness World Record for most copies of Jerry Maguire on VHS.
I'm Googling this right now. Holy
I like that somebody tracks this.
But yeah, they shut
the guy
down.
who's coming in second right now is so pissed.
Yeah, he's like, God damn it! God damn it! They got 3 more.
Hey everybody, it's Aaron Christensen with Horror 101 with Dr. AC, and this is Streaming and Screaming. And we're gonna be talking about movies. God, we're gonna be talking about horror movies that are streaming online right now on the internet.
Do you want us to do this for you?
Please, somebody help me. My co-hosts who will be helping me throughout the evening are Chad the Bird.
What's up?
And Lucy Ball.
You know, if you think about it, people who are older than other people in the room needing assistance is kind of on theme for one of the films we're talking about today.
We're going to be talking about it. Yep.
Wow!
We've already got our theme for the evening. And speaking of themes, we're going to be talking about The Demon Disorder.
My reco.
The Rule of Jenny Penn from 2024.
What a bummer. Very good.
And our throwback, chosen by Lucy, I believe, is Death Race 2000.
Yeah! Get some!
Oh, man. I was so happy when you texted. You're like, I'm watching Death Race
2000. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, man.
I think we have to save that one for last because we're going to need it to save us.
Back up after the
because man, I definitely after Jenny Penn, we're going to need like
quite a whiplash of a watch. I'm not going to lie.
Yep. I mean, that was my pick, but I know Chad was a fan as well. So,
big fan.
But yeah, let's start with The Demon Disorder because Chad, this was one that you talked about on our best of year-end show, and
this is one of my top 5, I believe.
Yeah, I love the fact that how did you come across this movie anyway?
It was one of those like Shutter watches or something that was like it was a TikTok video.
Talk louder.
It was a TikTok video.
There we go. Squawk.
I don't squawk on demand.
I got $50.
Dance, monkey, dance.
Says you do. Oh, is that better?
That's so much better. Thank you.
That was the problem. Go back. Let's re-record an ADR all of my quips for the last.
I already do that already.
No, this was on a TikTok video of like movies you have to see, and I always go to those because it's like always like a deep diver, like the ones you find on like Screenbox or.
You're getting quieter again.
What? How about that?
That's better. Keep it up.
Okay, so then you got to go down the. You gotta go down the deep dives on like Screenbox and Twitter and all that kind of shit. Like whenever it shows up on the like best of the year's hidden gems and what have you.
Yeah, look for dudes like me or I guess bearded white guys. They normally have that too.
Yeah, I mean on occasion.
Shout out haunting season.
Yeah, no, it was a deep dive on a TikTok. Somebody sent it to me and I was like, okay, I gotta watch this.
Cool. Tell us
and
what's
I
about.
was not disappointed.
No, what is The Demon Disorder about? Because you pitched it to us.
The Demon Disorder is about family, brotherhood, fathership, losing your mind, and sweet animatronic practical effects.
Oh man, there's some awesome practical effects. This is
Lucy has their hoof raised.
What is it, Lucy?
I have a misandrous slur, I would like to say.
The floor is yours.
I'll allow it because I don't know what misandrous means.
It's like misogyny, but for men. It doesn't exist. It's not real.
Misogyny for men.
Yeah, misandry.
Keep that in your back pocket. I use it all the
time. But I think the movie is about men refusing to ask for help.
Ask for help, yeah.
I think that
just like Where Evil Lurks. It's another movie about a guy who's like, hey,
I still haven't seen it. Oh my God.
Spoiler alert.
Oh no, you need to see When Evil Lurks, and we need to talk about.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. I just haven't pressed play yet.
Oh, it's fun.
Anyway, it's written directed by Stephen Boyle, who is a New Zealander.
Right.
No, sorry, he's Australia. Our other films from New Zealand.
Yeah.
And which I've been spending so much time in Australia lately because I watched all the Wolf Creek movies.
I thought you meant literally. I was like, how's your jet lag?
No, I haven't
jet setter.
No, I was watching the Wolf Creek movies and the Wolf Creek TV series, which is surprisingly good and is available now on Shudder and Tubi. And also is revisiting the Mad Max movies because watched Furiosa. So yes, I feel steeped in Australian.
I don't want to derail too hard. Is Furiosa good? I really like
it a
Fury
lot.
Road.
It's okay.
It's not the same as Fury Road.
Yeah, Fury Road is the one.
Thunderdome than it is.
Which, okay, so having just watched Thunderdome, let's just lean into this.
Hell yeah.
Having just watched Beyond Thunderdome, I had forgotten how much of the movie actually takes place beyond Thunderdome.
It's not just a clever name.
I'm like, wait, it's not just the name. I'm like, no, it's actually telling you that there's a lot more of this movie beyond Thunderdome because Thunderdome's like the first 20, 25 minutes, and then the rest of it is a bunch of kids out in the desert.
Yeah, then it becomes Hook. And it gets
that's 100% right.
Is that the one with the guy that's like, just walk away?
No, that's Road Warrior. That's
okay.
That's the good one.
They all sort of bleed together in my brain.
They sure do. But when you watch them all consecutive, I really like the first Mad Max, and I like Road Warrior a lot. And then Fury Road is just like, holy.
Fury Road is perfection.
I too like to huff spray paint and make reckless driving decisions.
All of these decisions were correct.
I wanna do a quick shout out for a book I recently read called Blood, Sweat, and Chrome, which is about the making of Fury Road.
Cool.
And that movie is an impossible movie. Like, it should not have happened. And the fact that it did happen, that it turned out to be as amazing as it is a true blue miracle.
Okay, last sidebar from me. I promise. Well, not the last for the episode, but the last for this tangent. Have you guys ever heard of Wasteland Weekend?
No. What is
that?
Is
Wasteland
that like
Weekend.
It's like a Burning Man for
sorta
Mad Max fans?
Basically, yes.
Which
actually,
is just Burning
it's
Man.
it's a post-apocalyptic festival out in the desert. Either here in California or in like Nevada or Arizona. It's somewhere like driving from where I currently have my ass planted.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like Comic-Con for post-apoc people out in the desert. They got a Thunderdome. Everybody tricks their cars out like Mad Max style. It's badass. You got to look up some YouTube videos.
Dude, I want to go there and buy some fucking herbs. I feel like they'd be like, check out all this dried oregano I brought to the fest to sell.
Yeah, you can just go to Slam City for that. I don't know.
Yeah, but I want to do it in like hockey pads.
You can also do that at Slam City.
I guess that's true.
I don't think they care about what you could probably wear nothing over there, and they wouldn't care.
And I do.
If there's anybody still watching at this point,
I promise we're going to talk about movies.
Well, we're talking about movies, just not the movies that we actually came here to talk about.
We haven't hung out in a while.
I miss you guys so much.
Guys.
We have friends on top of all of this. We gotta get this shit
Sorry,
out.
audience. This is not for you. This is for us.
Yeah. Turn around. Give us a minute.
Bent.
Get shit on, nerds.
Your ass. Anyway.
So, Demon Disorder.
This is the hard-hitting
sorry,
audience.
This is the show, folks.
There was no
sorry.
reason to do that.
Or not sorry. Demon Disorder, written and directed by Stephen Boyle and co-written by Toby Osborne. And Stephen Boyle, I was looking up his filmography. This guy has done a ton of like special effects and things like that on like movies like 30 Days of Night, the Australian horror comedy Black Sheep, Daybreakers, the vampire movie, the shark movie Bait. He is the shark designer for that movie.
I like that one.
So, and it's no surprise that this movie has some kick-ass special effects.
Man, did it ever.
Kind of a creature feature possession movie, examination of, parentals losing their minds,
familial trauma. It's a modern horror
generational
movie,
trauma. Yep.
Yeah.
I dug this movie and I appreciate you recommending it, Chad, because I think the acting is very strong. And it does feel very kind of lived in, as you were saying, Lucy, like it is about men just not being able to ask for help, but also to offer help either.
Yeah. Being totally unwilling to engage with difficult emotions, regardless of the cost.
I do love the fact that like halfway through the beginning of the movie, I was like, this movie feels like it should be like dour. But they just kept cracking jokes and shitting on each other.
Right.
I think that's just Australian culture, honestly. I think that's how they do things over there.
I'm fine with it, man. If everybody's throwing witty retorts around and getting drunk at night in the desert, fucking sign me up.
Yeah, Australia
again. Let's go, or just go to Australia.
So we've got an older patriarch,
John Noble.
John Noble, who boy is he great.
Love
He's
him.
so good in it.
Was that the I guess
That's the dad.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the most Australian-looking man I've ever seen in my entire
His face
life.
looked like a baseball mitt.
No
was
screen for me,
crazy.
thanks.
I remember I looked across the couch and was like, he's like from the Australian factory.
Yep.
Like if you were to
Central
make
casting.
a political cartoon of an Australian political figure, they would look like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's also Denethor in Lord of the Rings, and he was on
What was that one?
Fringe. Did you ever see that?
Oh,
show,
Fringe. Yeah.
You
Him
know,
and Pacey.
I've never seen a Lord of the Rings all the way through.
We've talked about this, and it's, I'm not quite sure what to do with you, but I have
I play
ideas.
Dungeons and Dragons. It evens out.
It's true. You lived it.
Chad, what would you say is the story behind Demon Disorder?
Two brothers, both alike in dignity, in the desert where we lay our scene. At
Whoa.
night, most of the time. Do not
Wow.
watch this movie during the day, because the reflection on your television will drive you mad.
No kidding. Hey, I did watch it during the
For
day.
real.
You can't
Yeah.
do that. You
100%
have to
correct.
watch it at night.
Yeah.
The sun
that is
doesn't go down till like 9 o'clock here.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how they watch it in Australia. The sun never goes down, right? Like for like 90% of the year. I don't know how it works. They're in the future, right?
Their Christmas is warm.
If you're from Australia, no spoilers about the future, but like tell me how I look. Yeah, it's two brothers. They haven't spoken in a while. One brother shows up, it's like, hey, dad's having problems again. And you're like, oh, this is an Alzheimer's metaphor, which it is.
Yep.
And so much more.
Yep.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of it. And they have to go back to their old hometown. It has a little bit of the one that I loved.
Frailty.
It's got a little frailty.
It totally
It's
does.
also got a little of that one that I kept throwing out 2 years ago that I kept loving, the Dark and the Wicked.
Oh,
Has a little
man.
dark
yeah,
and the
definitely.
Wicked
I
in
could
there.
totally get the Dark and the
Yep.
Wicked.
Yep.
uh,
Which,
That
if you haven't
isolation.
seen The Dark and the Wicked,
What are you doing?
Stop watching. Go watch.
Yeah.
What
it.
are you?
Yeah.
Don't stop watching. Keep the
Keep
show
us on in
playing.
the background.
That's right,
like,
because we
mute
need the
it.
watch hours,
Yeah.
Yeah, mute it and watch Dark and the Wicked
Yeah.
because man, that movie affected me so much. It was
So
so
good.
creepy. It was
But
alright.
if you want more of that, Demon Disorder has that same kind of vibe. But it's a little sweatier, a little angrier, a little broier.
Yep.
But
Much,
like, yeah,
I would say.
yeah, it's got a tinge more Braham. And it's a
Broham.
Broham and cheese. But like, it's funny.
Nice.
It's wacky. It's dark. It's fucked up. It is actually scary. And like saying much more about like what happens would kind of ruin the ride. But you can kind of guess where this goes
Yeah.
from the
yeah.
first 10 minutes of it, plus its title.
Lucy, what were your thoughts?
I wasn't as enthused as my dear friend Chad here is.
Well, you never are.
No, because somebody's got to balance you out, man. But I did like it. Don't get me wrong. I liked it. I had a great time watching it. I would recommend it to people for sure. Especially if you're into the practical effects thing. There's a lot of really impressive, cool stuff they do in there. Lots of not glop, but lots of weird
Goo.
stuff to look at.
Lots
Yeah.
of goo getting like in the sand. So then the sand and the hair gets in the goo. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I know how that smells.
Coincidentally, that's what I liked about Wolf Creek. It's like this
The goo.
it's like the same thing I like about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the like combination of like sweat, rural areas, and blood. It just does something to me. But
Go on. I can
yeah.
I can go outside. I can roll around a little bit. Come back in.
Oh, please do. I'd love that actually. That'd be awesome. So, by the way, how much are you selling your socks for? Anyway, what I was everyone
Roll
knows
around
he
in the
doesn't.
grass. It's real
Everyone
nice.
knows he doesn't wear shoes or socks. Don't
Nah,
worry
and I
about it.
refuse to.
He's a bird.
Anyway, yeah, I did like it. Don't get me wrong. I liked it. Some of the like terminal man sickness of it, like, I'm not going to say bored me, but it made me not invested in the stakes. And maybe that's more of a statement about me than anything else. Who knows? But yeah, I did like, I liked the fucking dysfunctional relationship between the three
Love
brothers.
the brothers.
I thought
They
that
were
was very
fucking
good.
Goofy. I loved it.
Where I never had any brothers because demons don't have gender, you fucking creeps.
Yes, definitely agree.
It was a cool thing to watch. And like, man, thank God I didn't have brothers. I don't think I'd have made it.
Yeah.
No,
But
you would have figured out what was going on.
yeah,
early on in the movie.
I'm far too soft. But Like literally, I'm made out of foam.
He's very cushy, folks.
Yeah, but I did like the movie. I really liked the relationship between like the most quote unquote put together brother and his employee at the body shop.
Yes. Yep.
I really like the way like they interacted and the sort of like it again speaks to the point of how the movie is about how men won't accept help and men like fuck it, I'm gonna figure it out. Because that girl, bless her heart, she tried her best. She really tried to extend the branch to this guy.
Save the day.
And then instead she like got stoned and called the police, which are two combinations of things I would never do. I would never call. Generally, I wouldn't call the police. Period. But especially not after roasting a bone in like a '58 Chevy. I'm not calling the police. No fucking way. Well, they're from
Australia. They do things differently.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, right. You got a little, pinger there, huh? Oh, wow, that's something special.
I think the performances. I think the performances are all really solid, and I like how it's not just the 3 carbon copies of the same Australian guy. It's like we have 4 distinct characters and they play off each other really well. Kind of going along with you, Lucy, I didn't love this movie in that I felt myself going, I would recommend Frailty first. And then I would recommend, it's like I would recommend these other movies on your way to Demon Disorder. But if you've seen those, Dark and the Wicked, absolutely, I would recommend that. But like once you've watched those movies, I'd be like, and if you like those, you'd probably like Demon Disorder as well. Yeah. And I also like the fact that it's made, you can tell that it's made for $0.
It's a dollar and a dream. Yeah.
I have such a soft spot in my tiny little bird heart, which isn't hard to do because it is very tender. For indie movies or movies on small budgets that like nail it and stick the landing. And that's why I think this movie like elevates, because I'm like, no, am I going to put this over Dark and the Wicked? No, I'm not crazy. I wasn't drunk when I watched it. I'm drunk now. But,
I should have been maybe, but
the thing is, like when I see that, I'm like, no, I want to talk about this movie to give that director and that company a little more attention.
Absolutely.
Like, give them money to make a bigger movie.
Yeah, I was just about to say I would love to see what that team does next.
Yeah, big fan.
Because I did really like this movie. I'm kind of tired of men's problems.
Who isn't?
Well, what's funny is, I mean, I watched this movie and then I watched The Ugly Stepsister like within a week of each other, and I'm like, here it is. This is the quote guys movie. This is the quote girls movie, and both should watch them so you can understand what goes on in our brains,
where the other's coming from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like I feel like it's what horror does best, right? Is like show us the dark and the wicked, so to speak.
Also, watch The Dark and the Wicked.
Yeah, like, come on, just do it.
Talking about Dark and the Wicked. Like, why isn't that on the show right now?
And next go round.
Yep.
We don't even have, I would happily rewatch that.
Yeah, oh no, I got to watch Dark and the Wicked again. It was only like it was my favorite movie of 2018 or whatever.
Yep. I love that movie.
But something I do got to give to the Demon Disorder. Oh, that's right. So the dude problems bugged me. I could have done with a little bit less mutilated animal. I could have done with that. I get it. It's a horror film. It's trying to make you get the creepy crawlies, but there's a point where it's excessive. How many chickens do you need to kill, really?
Honestly,
one more.
And speaking as someone with experience of hanging out with those of the AV and Persuasion, I kind of liked it. You very rarely get to see chicken horror. And I was happy to see it represented.
Pink flamingos. That's all I gotta say. That's pretty bad. But on the whole, though, I did really, really have fun with the movie. There were lots of things I really liked. The special effects.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really cool choices made in the movie. One little, I don't want to call it a gripe because it's not that big of a deal, right? But my
something you'd like to point up is
there we go. This is me totally being persnickety, but
excellent use of persnickety.
Yeah, I love that word. When they flashed back to when things were like basically hunky dory with the family,
right?
That the drunk brother still had the fucked up beard. And I think that should have been an
confused me.
illustration of how far he's come.
Yeah.
But no, he had a crazy Jerry Garcia beard even
All
when things
along.
were cool.
Yeah, he's always kind of sucked.
He's
And I
just a
love that.
friggin' bogan. And
Yep.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But again, that is a severe nitpick.
That is, that's a minor flaw.
That's it. That's all I got. I like this
Yep.
movie. I don't want to tell anybody what happens in it because you got to
No.
watch
Yeah,
it.
I do
Exactly.
get that. I do totally get that. I don't think you could quote unquote ruin it, but I think it is more fun if you're there for
I didn't
the
know
whole ride.
about it, and I'm glad I didn't.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah. I'm glad you're glad.
Glad.
Let us zoom forward
Ah!
over from Australia to New Zealand.
Yeah.
The rule of Jenny Penn. Like, Lucy, just get your phone out so we can talk through our text.
Yeah, let me go
just
through
read
the text
chain.
Good Lord.
Because Chad saw it first.
Yep.
And then I saw it like later that week, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
And then we're like,
It's
"We're
a
gonna
holy
talk
crap
about this."
kind of movie. Hard to recommend, but
Oh,
I do
you know,
recommend it.
No,
I
I've been
wouldn't
recommending
even
it
say
hard.
it's hard to recommend. If you know somebody who likes movies, like really likes movies, not like, oh, I go see every Marvel movie when it comes out or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, no, you like films, to
Yeah.
steal a Chadism there.
I'll take that.
Which I have used film in my daily life a lot, by
It's
the way.
nice
So,
to be quoted accurately.
so thank you very much. But if you're somebody who likes films and
It's very
appreciates,
Dutch of you.
yeah,
yeah,
I believe it is the Dutch pronunciation.
Whoa, I just got my ancestry back. There's a little bit of Dutch in there, actually.
There you go.
But
There you go.
I think if you're a person who appreciates the art of a movie and can like sit with hard feelings while watching a movie, it's an easy recommend because it was
Oh, yeah.
a fantastic movie. It was so good.
So well
But-
shot, so well acted, so well written. Just
Yeah,
dark and hard to deal with.
I think the only note I have is like throw a pie. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah,
it was
oh, man.
so bleak.
It's bleak, man.
Frustrating, and it's hard to watch, and you're
Yep.
just like, "Yup, yup, yup." And similar to, let's talk about it. It's more Dark and the Wicked. You just feel like, oh man, like there's no way out. Like
Yeah.
you can't
It's
win.
oppressive.
Yeah.
But the thing with Dark and the Wicked is they had fun with the creep amounts. Like
Sure.
there's a sense of glee
Yeah.
in that movie to be like, oh, don't go outside. Oh, she's gonna go outside. Where in this movie you're like, everyone go to bed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that was
and
the thing.
Drink more water.
I kept really, I mean, so the basic premise is you got John Lithgow, and he's basically terrorizing all the folks at this retirement community. And Geoffrey Rush plays this judge who has a stroke and is put into this retirement community for rehabilitation. And therein, the war of wills begins because Geoffrey Rush ain't taking no shit. But
He
unfortunately,
ain't taking no crap. He's gonna quote Hemingway, and you're gonna deal with
in
it.
your
but
face.
he's had a stroke, and so he is debilitated. He is disabled, and he is not at the same level of physical capability as John Lithgow. And John Lithgow is taking advantage of that, and he does the rule of Jenny Penn being the title. He rules over them with his little puppet, which is Jenny Penn, and he
Would we
makes everyone
consider that
bow
a
down
puppet?
to Jenny Penn. What?
It's a baby
it's-
doll head with
It's
a rag
one
hanging
on a
off of it.
hand and animated by a human. It's a puppet. I'm sorry.
All right.
Can we not call it? I never even thought that would come up for
Huh.
Not
clarification.
not to lift the curtain too much, folks.
Guys, don't. No spoilers.
Yeah, I don't want to break the magic on you. Mickey Mouse isn't real.
Wait.
That's some pothead from Santa Ana.
But he's very good at his job.
Yeah, and he
Anyway.
goes, really good.
Nice, really well done.
So that is
Stephen
that's
Topolis now.
that's the premise, and it becomes a war of wills that escalates and gets darker and meaner, and like I was screaming at the screen
Yep.
all the way. I'm just like, somebody do something,
Yep.
which is what I find I'm screaming at most screens these days.
Yep.
Come on.
very
What are you talking
2025.
about? Everything is very cool
Everything's
and good.
great.
Everything's fine.
For those of you preserving history, everything is not fine.
Help
we
us.
need some help.
Go back
please.
in time
Oh
and help
my God.
us. For the love of God, I want to
please.
go to the future
Where's
now.
the doctor?
Put me
no.
in space. I think that the Rule of Jenny Penn is like it's the last act of misery for an hour and 30 minutes.
Ooh, that's
Right?
good.
That's
That's
a
nice.
good way to put that. Yeah.
Like,
And I think, Doc, that you were a little too generous in calling that a
He is a
retirement community, because I live in suburban Southern California. A retirement community is a collection of double wides that are about $400,000 cheaper than anything else on the market, but you got to be 55 plus to rent in one. And basically, it's a bunch of old people who used to follow the dead around. This is a waiting room for a mortuary.
yeah.
This is bad. This is
Yeah.
This is
bad.
the end of the road.
I
Well,
don't
this
know. I don't know how many of you out there watching in TV land have like had a loved one who has to be in one of these places. Which one, I can't imagine like the spiritual turmoil of having to live in a place like that.
Right.
But I can imagine from having experienced the spiritual turmoil of having to go and visit one of those places, and you see your loved ones and they're drugged out of their fucking minds and nobody's there and everyone's waiting on the goddamn Grim Reaper, and it's cruel. It's cruel and it's painful.
And these folks are, as you say, these folks are deeply debilitated. Like they really are not able to function and really need assistance throughout. And I think that makes it all the more troubling because you have these people who are basically helpless in the face of John Lithgow lording over them.
And he's such an asshole. Oh my
so
God.
happy.
I have
so happy
never
it was
hated John Lithgow so much in my life.
I was like, Mr. Henderson. That's unacceptable.
Like,
Harry and the Hendersons? Anybody?
Yeah, no, I was with you.
I got what you're doing. I got what you're
I
doing.
thought that was better.
I picked that up from the local library a time or two. But man, it just the movie, it bummed me out. It made me angry.
Well, okay, so this is what I want to dig into. What is it that made you angry about it? Because I think that's why I kept saying this is such a political movie. Like, I feel like because we feel like we are helpless in this current state of affairs.
What are you talking about? Everything's cool.
If you're from the future, please come back and help us. I don't know if we said that beforehand.
But, it's like and the constant, like, wanting somebody to just friggin' stand up to this guy and stop him. And for God's sake, believe the people who are saying this isn't right.
Oh my God.
Like it just kept happening over and over and over again.
About it.
I
don't even
want
to talk about
what
it.
are you talking about? You love humans in torment.
Here's what pissed me off about this movie, in no particular order.
In addition to.
One, I really didn't like the way the orderlies talk to the patients.
No, they're
it's
terrible.
a thing. It's a thing that drives me crazy. In my limited experience in nursing homes to this day, is they treat everybody like kindergartners. These are grown adults. Even if their mental faculties aren't all the way there, you're not helping things by being like, oh, Mr. Sanderson, you're being very silly, Billy. Why don't you eat your applesauce? It makes me crazy. Treat people with friggin' dignity, regardless of what their brain is doing to them. That made me crazy. That depressed me from the jump. Two, I don't like a sanctimonious judge. I don't like it. He might have been right for criticizing the woman on the stand at the beginning of the movie. He might have been right. I don't know. Right. I don't know the situation. I can only say what the judge has said. But I really don't like a sanctimonious judge. I don't like a guy who thinks he's smarter than everybody because he could memorize some fucking Hemingway. I could memorize Hemingway, and I'm not the smartest guy on the block, okay? I can read, So That's another one that drove me crazy. I'm like, okay, yeah, I got a college degree and I got an important job. Oh, I'm so perfect. Shut up.
Go to college. But
yeah, like get your education. Don't get me wrong, but don't lord it over everybody.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I think he is coming into this with this air of better than thou.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah,
the idea of civilization, like things, the idea of how things should be, and like he's not prepared for somebody who's a chaos master, who's like, no, I'm not going to play by the rules. I don't have to play by the rules. I'm not going to play the, and it's like,
right,
you just go,
that doesn't sound like anything going on.
Doesn't sound familiar at all.
And that was the third thing that pissed me off, is it just made me think about how the world is currently fucking operating. And I wanted somebody to reach up and ring John Lithgow by his stupid fucking 5 o'clock shadowed little fucking puppet on the hand
with
neck,
his piercing blue eyes,
with his orange skin and his
so
bad
scary.
toupee and the diapers and the shoe lift. I don't think I'm talking about John Lithgow anymore.
Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna say, hang on.
But either way, somebody should have just reached up and grabbed that guy by his fucking neck from the jump, and then nobody would have been here. Nobody would have been here. But everybody wants to keep the peace and keep things cool. Everything's cool. I don't want to cause a problem. Man.
Chad?
I thought it was interesting.
Sorry, I've been feeling very passionate lately.
No, as was I.
I think that's what made it scary, is that you're like, oh shit, I'm stuck in this place with Geoffrey Rush.
That's right.
And I can't get out, and neither can he, and I'm just have to watch this go down. Which is why I say it's a little bit like Paul Sheldon's like point of view in Misery. You're like, oh, I don't want to be here with fucking Annie Wilkes either. But I can't get out.
You dirty bird, you.
Exactly. Again, I feel represented.
Nice.
But then you've got John Lithgow, who's just like, America's nice guy or whatever. He's fucking 30 Rock. He's like your fun alien. Third Rock, not 30 Rock.
That's where I know him from.
Yeah.
I read the name John Lithgow and was like, okay, I know this is a very famous actor who I should recognize, but I couldn't conjure anything he had been in.
Well, he's also just got this vibe of like nerdy good guy.
Yeah, totally.
Having him just
unless he's in Cliffhanger.
Last season, what a love is. Sacrifice. That's one of my favorite lines.
That's okay.
It's okay.
It's not essential viewing, but it's pretty fun.
Okay, I'll take that.
The having him just kind of be this menace in the background that just kind of always pops up, like, gave me legit nightmares. Because like, oh crap, like creepy orderly dude or like creepy like unwell dude is gonna pop up in the window, and like attack me with a little doll on his hand. That's not a thing I ever thought would be a fear. But it is apparently.
That's a problem I had with the film. I got to talk with you guys after about that. I don't want to say this on the air.
Ooh,
because I think this is another movie you should not tell a lot.
You shouldn't know too much about it.
Just know it's a nursing home and things are bad. That's pretty much it.
Smell this movie.
Yeah,
you really can.
The atmosphere is so thick. But all right, no spoilers because we're not doing spoilers, and I almost spoiled it a little bit if you rewind back. But it actually kind of ends on an up note, and I really was happy and appreciative of that.
Well, and I think we all would have lost our minds had it not.
If it had ended any differently, I would have single-handedly burnt down a bank.
Exactly, I would have been like, "What was the point?" So what was the point?
Yep.
But like this one. Like I love a horror film that ends on an up note because it makes me want to do more things, not the dour smackdown of just like there's no end to the darkness.
Well,
there's no end.
And I generally love a horror movie that's not afraid to end on like the downest of downers. Okay. I want the original cut of Dawn of the Dead where they get killed trying to get out of the mall. I love that kind of a movie because
if it's earned, I'll give you.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Earned. But I even like it just because. You know what I mean? Like, because what's the screenwriting? You guys have been involved in art. You might know the screenwriting term is save the cat.
Yeah,
or something.
Save the cat.
Yeah, where you gotta make things nice. I love a movie that doesn't make things nice. I love that. Like give it to me or whatever.
But they have to have fun doing it. Like when Evil Lurks ends on a really bleak ending, but it's a blast.
Well, I think
coffee table from beginning to end is a goddamn bleak ass movie. But
I called the ending of the coffee table from like minute 10. I was like, this is the only way out.
There's no puzzle to be held here.
But like, if this movie had ended Dawa, and like, you know, if it had been any different, I would have really been pissed off when the credits.
Well, and I think because of the times we're living in, I absolutely felt that. I was like, it does away with civilization, it does away with rules, and it goes back to just stand up to the bully and shut them down however you need to.
Unreasonable times, unreasonable measures are called for.
They are
the craziest
condoned,
thing in the jungle. That's
endorsed.
My favorite one. My favorite is be the craziest thing in the jungle, because the jungle is crazy.
That's how you win. That's how you win. And I mean, just watching everybody get rolled over. And there's a great kind of Geoffrey Rush's sidekick is this ex-footballer. He's a New Zealand, a Kiwi guy.
Rugby man.
Yeah, and George Henare plays his character, and he does a haka, but he's like, he's old, and he's like, he doesn't have the warrior. The mind is willing, you know, but the body is weak.
That was powerful. Like, man alive. Like, it was at that point in the movie that I was like, okay, things might be okay. Things might be okay. They wouldn't do this if things weren't going to be okay, right?
Yeah, that would be too mean. In a movie that's pretty damn mean. I did love the fact that like there was all this atmosphere in the movie that changes and you don't realize it changes. Like it begins and you're like, oh, this place sucks. I'll never find joy here. Everything's been, there's no blood left here. We're just going to die beige. And then as the movie continues, little things start to pop up. And then by the end, you're like, oh, this is actually kind of nice.
Well, I love the escalation. Like I watched, you know, them playing harder and hitting harder and hitting harder. And you're like, oh man, somebody's not making it out of here.
Yeah, there's only one way out of this one.
Did you guys ever read the R.L. Stine book? I know you're a little older than me, so maybe not.
Canonically, I'm 4.
Oh, okay. So, wow, Big Bird. Okay.
I know, right?
So did you guys ever read the book, The Midnight Hour by R.L. Stine? It was a collection.
Scholastic Book Fair.
Yeah, it was a collection of short stories that were a little more scary than Goosebumps. Like it was a little more YA. Yeah, it was for an older audience. But there's a story in Midnight Hour called "I'm Not Martin," I think is the name of it, and it's about a kid who has to go into the hospital on Halloween to get his tonsils taken out.
Oh, I remember this one. Okay.
Yeah, and his roommate is this kid named Martin, or so says his plaque. And he's trying to talk to the kid to like ease the nerves. And he's like, "Say, Martin, do you like comic books?" "No, I don't really like comic books. My name's not Martin, by the way." And it's this like constant sort of weird back and forth where this kid is refusing to admit that he's Martin. And he looks at his charts, and Martin is up to get a leg amputation, whereas our protagonist is here to get some tonsils removed. Mm-hmm. And he wakes up in the middle of the night and sees Martin creeping around a room, but thinks it's like a dream and goes back to sleep. And when he wakes up, he's being carted into a surgery ward, and Martin has changed the nameplates.
Oh!
So he's being carted to get his leg cut the fuck off.
Dark.
And he's like, "I'm not Martin! I'm not Martin!" And the nurses are like, "Yeah, the doctor said he would do this. Don't listen."
Yeah. Man, I hate it when they do that. They're just they warned us about this.
Yeah, this movie made me think of that story like through most of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like a campfire, it felt like a Stephen King paperback from like the darker time. Like not like maybe like Night Shift. And the fact that Stephen King, that's the reason why I saw this movie, because Stephen King X'd about it or threaded about it, I think is where I saw it. Because I would say
he's still on the Hell site. That's crazy.
He's not on X. It was on Threads. He posted that it was the best movie of the year. And so I went back. I was like, well, if he thinks so, I don't think so.
I
But it
can
was
totally
good.
see that being a Stephen King take, though,
Yeah.
because it does have the kind of feel of one of his novels, especially one of his novellas.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
And I like that it's an insular story. It doesn't get bigger than that. It's just
Yeah,
like, this is
totally.
for
That
me.
was very cool. It makes you feel trapped in the nursing home,
But then
with the rest
ultimately
of everyone.
comfortable, which is why I like the movie. Because the very end, I was like,
You
know what?
felt comfortable?
Well, like that was the whole point of the movie. Is that like everything?
I don't think it was, Chad.
Well, I don't want to go there, but
I
rather
was
have a good
deeply
time.
uncomfortable the whole
No,
fucking
I wasn't
time.
happy while it was happening, but the end of the movie is such an up note that I'm like, okay.
Oh, it
Okay,
was
I can see it.
righteous for sure.
I could see you having
Comfortable's
a
a
good time.
crazy choice.
Chad lives a different world than we do.
I live
Yeah.
a sheltered life.
I think one of your texts was that it's like the geriatric One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
think
you
I
have
said
somebody there who-
nightmare, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Yeah,
Nest.
because somebody doesn't belong there. Like, Randall P. McMurphy in Cuckoo's Nest, he's not actually crazy.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
he
just
is-
Jack Nicholson.
Jack
He's playing
Nicholson,
crazy so that he can get off of this attempted rape charge.
which is
so that's
also
why
a
he's
sign
there.
that he is.
No,
such-
that was the hook of that. I've never
sociopath.
seen the film in its entirety.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
a great movie.
But that's why he's there. And I felt like the same thing is true, is that Geoffrey Rush does not belong in this facility, but he's here in this facility.
Except
And
he maybe kind of
he
does.
kind of does, which is why I like him.
Well, he
because
doesn't like
can't-
admitting that, and you see the
mentally,
deteriorate.
no.
You're
It's
watching
like
him.
his
You're watching
body
him
can't.
deteriorate.
Which turns back to men refuse to ask for help.
Yep.
Something I did like. I don't think it's too much of a spoiler. Have you guys ever seen NBC's Hannibal show?
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay,
It's a
because I don't
Mickelson.
Aaron,
I've never
you need
missed
to
a
watch it.
Mickelson.
It's incredible. It's
Yep.
the best. It's the best gay romance of my
Yeah.
lifetime. There's like a whole plot point. Okay, so you've seen the other Hannibal media,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah. I've seen all the movies. I just haven't seen the show.
Okay, have you read like any of the books? The
Yes.
insular
Yep.
characters. Okay,
Yep.
so Hannibal centers mostly around Will Graham.
Okay. Yep.
And it's like the beginning of the show is when the Chesapeake Ripper first starts to like enact his crimes. And spoiler alert, it plays up until basically Silence of the Lambs, maybe Red Dragon. And it's like when they start finding out that Hannibal is the Chesapeake Ripper. But anyway, there's like this whole beeline where Hannibal is trying to make Will Graham think he's like totally fucking bonkers. And they do that clock test that's in the Rule of Jenny Penn. And seeing that, I was like, oh, I remember when Will Graham had to do this, and that was kind of cool.
Yep. Yep.
But definitely didn't look like it smelled like ripe socks.
No,
Like
no,
it
because
did
Mads Mikkelsen and
Jenny
Hugh
Penn.
Dancy are way hotter than
They're
anyone
way
in this
hotter than
movie.
everyone in this movie.
You also in your text there you threw in the asthma thing, and I was like, that
Man, oh my God.
Again,
Leaning
that-
into
we're talk-
asthma is a horror device.
I
It's
have
pretty fucking
never
bad.
seen like a terrifying asthma attack in a film. Because the asthmatic kid is normally like the nerd, played
Right.
for laughs, like, oh, he needs his inhaler
Yeah, it
after
feels like
walking
it's
around.
too mean to do to someone.
Yeah,
but then when you
I
see
think
it
the
done
only-
correctly.
The only horror asthma thing I've seen is like It, maybe because the
Right,
one
right.
kid
Yeah.
is asthmatic.
Well,
But-
in Hereditary, having someone go into anaphylaxis.
I
is
don't.
like-
I don't want to talk about that. As an older sibling, I don't want to talk about that. But yeah, the scenes with the asthma stuff, like it fully flashed back to being a child and having to have ambulances called to the school.
Yep.
It was very scary.
And what's hilarious is it's also like a great moment of triumph within the movie. Like,
Right.
Yeah, I was very conflicted. I had asthmatic solidarity, and we'll see. And that's the thing, John. Well, and even okay, I can't use that. I was gonna say he should have picked up cigarettes because when I started smoking cigarettes, my asthma stopped being so bad. Weirdly enough,
what?
Huh.
but yeah, I can't explain it. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
explain
not
it.
fair.
But
So you're a
But-
cyborg. That's it.
but dude was
he's a
smoking
demon.
cigarettes
That's
and being
gotta be
like,
what it is.
"No bastard can see me."
I love that scene.
And also,
Yo, that was
isn't-
awesome. Yeah.
Isn't John Lithgow in Dexter?
Yeah.
So
See,
he's
I've
also-
never watched Dexter. I somehow made it through Tumblr without watching Dexter.
Proud of you.
he's a bad guy in that one too.
Ah, interesting.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, thumbs up
This has
to
been a John
Rule of Jenny
Lithgow
Penn.
appreciation.
And
Yep.
he acted his fucking
They're
ass
both
off.
great.
Well,
Of
as
course
does
they're great.
Geoffrey Rush.
Oh my
Geoffrey-
God, yeah. That's one of the things I texted you guys. I don't think it's a spoiler because it's just conversation. But it throughout the movie, the judge, as a judge, I guess, might want to do, was like quoting a lot of classic literature. He's a big Hemingway guy. He's always like quoting prose and being all sanctimonious. And there's one point where he's like lying in bed and I wish I would have written down or memorized the passage he read
Hemingway.
because I love bourbon whiskey. That's my Hemingway.
I'm a fish.
Yeah, whatever. Call me Ahab. I don't think that's Hemingway.
That's actually not Hemingway.
I don't read. But as I was listening to him do this wonderful Hemingway recitation, I texted the group here and was like, wow, I would love to hear this guy do Shakespeare. And then as I'm typing that, the Maori guy in the bed next to him is like, you're always saying some dead wanker's words.
Yep.
And I thought that was just, a little too poignant.
Well, I think it's important to have Geoffrey Rush as that character because he's a well-known Shakespearean actor.
Oh, okay, that makes sense because he really, really did that. Like he depended on it.
Could watch the theatrical stage version of this movie with the two of them as a two-man.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, this is one of those movies that would be a fantastic play.
Yeah, agreed. Let us shift forward to, or actually flip backward.
Yeah,
I want to go with shift forward because it's a car term.
Because it's a car movie.
Yeah,
Death Race 2000.
Oh, let's get some levity.
Let it
Oh man,
rip.
because I see. I mean, Lucy, you just discovered this movie, which makes me so happy. But I'm also thrilled the fact that I got to revisit this movie because I'd forgotten, not really forgotten, but I love watching this movie. It's just such a great time.
Yeah,
it is classic Roger Corman.
Yep.
And it's one of those things that like where Grindhouse movies are like my bag. Like I love Grindhouse so much. And I had heard this movie talked about for forever. I was a big Twisted Metal player in my younger days, and I had always sort of like wanted to get around to it, but just hadn't. And I was up one night drinking Irish whiskey, hanging out.
Come to Chicago, Lucy. We need to do this
I'm
together.
telling you, dude, it would be too real. I think the world might implode.
Yep.
But
wait, it's already imploding.
Yeah,
hurry.
No! But yeah, I was just scrolling through Tubi, and Death Race came across my feed.
Also,
and
God
was
bless
like,
you, Tubi.
Yeah,
Everybody
go
to
man.
Tubi now.
Tubi is the realest. Put up with commercials. They
Also,
got
no.
many
Actually, I'm gonna
movies.
say this right now. If you watch Tubi on Brave as your browser, because it blocks pop-ups, it blocks the commercials.
Okay,
This is your public service announcement. Watch Tubi on Brave, and you are watching a movie just straight ahead.
That's very good intel, but I watch it on my big fuck off TV in the living room. But
yep, you're screwed. Sorry.
Yeah, that's life. That's life, baby. I'll put up with commercials for the good shit they got.
For those of you who are
there.
watching it on laptops, watch it on Brave.
Yeah, I have a couch, so no, I'm not.
Yeah, Death Race came across my feed, and I was like, okay, I've seen people talk about this movie for forever.
They remade it too.
Yep.
Yeah, they did. I didn't watch the remake.
One of the writers from the original wrote the remake too.
Oh, cool. I got to go hunt that one down next. But I remember coming across it being like, okay, I need a fun movie. I'm just hanging out. I've heard this is really good. Let's put it on. And man, I was gripped from start to finish. It was so much fun. Oh my
1 hour
God.
and 7 minutes of it.
Man, hey, it doesn't, it's like punk rock. You don't got to be any longer than you have to be to get the message across.
Get out.
It blows the doors off. It is so much fun, and it's celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, which is one more reason to talk about it.
Nice.
Oh my God,
man, that's a synchronicity.
The only note that I took that I wanted to remember, hang on, I have to look up my note. Okay, is that this movie? It's what happens when you take the writers of Bloody Mama, the original and the remake of Little Shop of Horrors, and Robinson Crusoe on Mars, and tell them do Mad Max meets Wacky Races meets Mad Magazine.
Except for Mad Max didn't even exist at this point.
Exist yet. Right.
Like
this is what I loved about it.
Max
is that it was Wacky Races with death.
Yep.
That's
Wacky
what I
Razors-
liked about it.
It was like Wacky Razors in like a magazine from the 1970s where you're like, you can't say that anymore.
Yeah,
And
or like a comic with an X, like comics.
Yeah, like definitely like a Ralph Bakshi joint where you're like,
Nice.
this is not for children.
Toxic Avenger references this movie as well because it's a transcontinental road race. This is in its, I think it's 10th year. No, it's 20th year because it started in 1980.
In the
future.
far off
In the
of
far
the
off
year
future.
2000.
But they go from coast to coast. They go from New York to LA. And
I have a note about that too. We
and you
have to
get-
talk about how fast they're actually driving.
and you get points for every, if you kill people along the way, like you get a certain number for older people, you get a certain number for kids, you get a certain number for babies, like it is like super not politically correct and awesome and just doesn't care.
But
it's having such a, but it's done in such a lighthearted, it's much like Toxic Avenger. It's done in such a like goofy way that you can't take it seriously.
Goofy grindhouse.
in the year 2025, I think in the year 2025, I think that where you said it's not politically correct, like I would argue that, like, I can understand, sure, I guess it's not politically correct. They're killing old people, they're killing preachers,
wearing Nazi shit.
Yeah, I totally get that, but I would argue that it is entirely politically correct because it's a statement about bread and circuses and about fucking thinning the population for the powers that be so they can scrape up more money and resources. Not that this would ever happen in real life. This is a movie, folks. Don't worry too much. But I would say that it's very politically correct because it's not saying anything that's like harmful or like it doesn't punch downwards.
No.
Like it's all a way too fitting statement about like the general situation of like American quote unquote society, whatever you want to call it. I put on my Joker makeup right now.
It did feel like it was like, this is what American fascism would look like.
Totally. That was exactly what it was. And it's really fucked up that this was 50 years ago and it still has a good point.
Honestly, kind of nails it. Just fucking nails it.
And our president actually, one of his quotes is the fertile field of minority privilege. And I was like, that's right. Because only a precious few should run this joint and the rest of you should all just suck on it.
Yep. I don't think I can say the 3 sentences on my mind on YouTube.
Well, we can put them in the comments. But let's go back really quick because I want to talk about like, the premise is this transcontinental road race and you have 5 drivers. You have Calamity Jane.
I loved her.
Drives like a big, like bull themed. All the cars have themes. That's the
it's like if
beautiful
Reba
thing.
McEntire was fighting for gasoline.
You have Matilda the Hun, who's the Nazi. You have Joe Viterbo.
And when we say Nazi, we mean it.
Like
we're not kidding. We're not being hyperbolic.
Like the proud and great Aryan race Nazis.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she kind of gets really charming towards the end, which was really hard to take.
I know.
That's wild. That's wild.
Oh, she's so cute and funny, though. God damn
Man, I think you might need to talk to a therapist about that. I didn't
I
feel
don't
that
want to
at
hang
all.
out with her. I'm glad everybody dies in this movie. But that was the part of that movie that blew my mind. I was like, am I like kind of into this?
Am I falling in love with her?
She's so cute and funny and stupid.
Oh,
and like
Brunhilde,
goofy,
please.
and she's saying all these goofy German things, but she's funny. And
Well, she keeps saying Blitzkrieg, and I'm like,
oh my god, it broke me. It broke every time she did it. I was like, she's not really like, she's like a Nazi fangirl, which is worse.
Much like, never mind.
Yeah.
Back up.
Button in my lip.
Joe Viterbo, who's like a Chicago gangster who plays
Machine Gun Joe Viterbo.
Machine Gun Joe Viterbo, who is played by none other than Sylvester Stallone in one of his early roles.
In all of his Stallone-ness.
This is a year before Rocky. This is him.
just rocking out.
Whoa, I didn't realize it was that close
Yeah.
to Rocky.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. But he weirdly has similar views to women as Machine Gun Kelly. Strange. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, weird,
He's also
right?
from Chicago, which is really intense.
Oh boy, man.
And then we have Nero the hero, who is kind of Roman themed,
Kreese
and he
from the Karate Kid.
I was going to say he's played by Martin Kove, who's also in the Karate Kid and Rambo Part
Rambo
2,
2.
alongside
hanging out with
Sylvester
Sylvester Stallone.
Yep.
Did he die early? I vaguely
think
remember
so.
that guy.
Yeah, he went out kind of early on because it
Okay.
comes like spoilers for Death Race 2000.
Oh, I thought you meant
from
Martin Kove.
1975.
Yeah,
No, Martin
yeah.
Cove's still on. Cobra
that's what I
Kai.
thought. I was like, wait, he died?
Oh
No,
yeah, I mean the Roman guy.
Yeah, no,
Nero
he
the
went out.
hero.
Nero
Yeah,
got
I
out
was
pretty early.
I was muddled by Nutella toast when I was watching that film. I can't.
Also, Matilda the Hun has her navigator, because all of these drivers have a navigator of the opposite sex, it seems.
Because
and-
they fuck.
Baby bagged. Which I'm sorry, I don't mean.
But
to-
hang on. Let me just land this plane.
Yeah,
Just
Landon.
after the show.
Herman the German is Matilda the Hun's navigator, and he's played by Fred Grandy,
Yep.
who is Gopher on the Love Boat.
Love Boat.
Whoa, man! I knew so many people in this movie looked
Yeah.
familiar, but Stallone was the only one I could like really put my finger on.
No David Carradine? Really? Kill Bill?
Shit. Was he Bill?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bill.
he's Frankenstein.
Okay, I thought he looked
Mr.
familiar too.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, I again couldn't place him, but I
By
knew
the
I was
way,
like, I know
Best
your
part
face.
about that movie was rewatching it, and every time someone said Mr. Frankenstein, I'd be like, it's actually Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, I didn't go to fucked up medical school. Yeah,
They say it so many times, they're like, Mr. Frankenstein. I'm like, Doctor. Actually,
Doctor. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. What were you saying?
it wasn't important. I don't even really remember.
Well, in
You
that
got-
case, I'm going to talk about Tak Fujimoto, who's our director of photography.
yup.
Tak Fujimoto, who would go on to do Badlands for Terrence Malick, The Sixth Sense, Silence of the Lambs, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like this is such a Corman production
Yup.
because you have so many people who are beginning their careers and then they explode.
Yeah, cutting their teeth on
Yeah,
this film.
man.
Yeah.
Guy who
and-
directed this movie would go on to do Eating Raoul and like
That's
all-
right.
He's like a character actor that you've seen
Paul
in 1,000
Bartel.
movies. Paul Bartel, thank you.
I know that name. Wow, that's
Well,
crazy.
And Mary Woronov is also in Eating Raoul, opposite Paul Bartel.
Truth. Fact.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's a thing I love about a movie is when they like take care to like build the rules of
Yes.
the universe out.
Yep.
I love that. It helps a movie feel lived in and real, regardless of how over the top and sensational it is. And the thing about the navigators, I was like locked in. I
Yep.
was like, yeah, this is awesome. You got drivers, you got navigators, they got their jobs, they bang it out on the reg. This rules.
Yep. Death Race is a sport. It's a professional sport.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, much like professional wrestling.
And what makes this Death Race 2000, what makes it special is that there is the Operation Anti-Race going on where they basically declared war on the Transcontinental Road Race, and the terrorists, aka the good guys, are
Vive la revolution.
yes, the revolutionaries are going to take out Frankenstein, and they're like blowing up drivers, and they're just basically ruining everybody's good fun.
But they're also like Wile E. Coyote about it, and
Yeah.
they
Yes.
fuck up half of the
Literally
traps.
Wile E. Coyote about it.
Like when those dudes are setting up the barricades and they're like, oh, I think he's coming. Better not get out of the way of this thing the car is barreling towards.
Yup.
Well, and
Very Acme
We
traps.
get a fucking false tunnel at one point.
yep.
I know
Straight up
shit.
Wile E. Coyote shit happens.
Roadrunner on it, yeah. Oh, they're never gonna get past this.
It
fucking
works too.
Well, and we have our three guys who are, playing chicken with, I think, Machine Gun Joe Viterbo.
Oh,
And
God,
one of those
the
actors
gang.
is Dick Miller,
Yep.
who's the star of, Bucket of Blood. And
My
things
guy,
like
old man
Yep.
from
Yeah.
Gremlins.
from Gremlins. I was just like, I'm just watching
Explorer,
this and just
Demon
awash
Knight.
in Corman love.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. I didn't. I didn't pay attention a lot to the opening credits. I'm not going to lie. Is this a Corman picture?
He produced it. Yes.
Oh, that makes everything about it make
sure
all the
does.
sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
That opening, by the way, drawn by a high schooler. One of my favorite fucking things in those 70s movies where they don't have budgets. They're just like, hey, Stephanie, your kid draws, right?
That terrible matte painting.
I love it.
Oh man, so good.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Seeing that on the screen, which I have at the Music Box once or twice, is see that movie in the theater if you can.
Oh, it
really is
so
worth
good.
it.
Well, and our designer, I mean, like these cars are beautiful
Gorgeous.
works of art. I can't read my own writing. James Powers designed those cars, and Dean Jeffries built them.
Yep.
And these are actual cars driving down the road like really fast.
I've seen one of them at a car fair.
Are you with us, Doctor?
It was either one of those.
Are you with us, Doctor? Are you with us, Doctor?
Mr. Frankenstein, please. But like that one of those cars, I forget which one it was or whose car it was. I think it was the Nazi mobile, but was in a car fest.
Blitzkrieg.
Because they were real and they drove and they were
Yeah,
cars
and I mean that's the thing. Like these things are whipping down the road. And
okay, you say whipping down. They're driving 55 miles an hour and they've sped the shutter speed up.
Yeah. Who's got money for
it's
suspension of disbelief? Exactly.
But it's so cool. Like I love that when a movie's not afraid to make an effect look shitty for the sake of the movie. And Roger Corman is the king of it.
Because it makes it so much easier to enjoy the fact that you're running over, old people and kids. It's
a fucking cartoon.
It's a lark. Exactly.
The blood looks like paint. It's just unnecessary. There's so many head squelches and arm rips.
There's some serious head squelches.
Gross shit that happens in this movie. But every time it happened, I was like, my
eyes bugged out. I was like, I forgot that you ran people's heads over in this movie.
And they went to the trauma school of exploding cars.
Yep.
God, every car that explodes.
Or trauma went to the Corman school of exploding.
Yeah, I guess that's the true
you gotta thank Dr. Corman for all this shit, man.
Man, you really do. He's a visionary.
Yeah, when I was doing a report
ripping pisses, baby.
What was it like he passed away last year.
Yep. R.I.P. Roger.
Running down that whole thing and looking at what they went through for Death Race 2000, it's just they were trauma before trauma, but they even went farther with it, and they were just because trauma is really big on safety. Corman has some questionable practices.
Are they?
But yeah,
are
they
they?
are. Lloyd Kaufman has this famous thing on the wall when they make movies. It's the first thing is safety, the second thing is don't damage property, and the third thing is make a good movie. He's famous.
Yeah, I thought that was tongue in cheek because
they
don't do any of that.
Yeah, they do. The people that make trauma movies are no, they're really they take safety so fucking seriously over there. Which
that must be a new occurrence because in Kaufman's book does not make it seem like they had a very
pretty miserable work in there.
They're all in it to win it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Killing extras, but they were yeah, man, we threw ourselves out there.
Yeah, I think that might have been that sign might have come up a couple of lawsuits ago.
Oh yeah, I would hope so. Well, if you see a sign,
somebody made you put that sign.
I also, again, just so many wonderful. Roberta Collins plays Matilda the Hun, and she was in Big Birdcage and Caged Heat. I mean, she was really part of that Corman factory. Thomasina Payne, the leader of the resistance, that's played by Corman all-star Harriet Medden, and she shows up in Black Sabbath, and she's just amazing. She's just got that wonderful tight face.
She's got a face made for genre pictures.
I love her so much.
Yeah, and Black Sabbath. I love that movie so much.
Yep. She's the one in the drop of water at the landlady who comes in
such a good
and goes clear that she's stolen the ring and that the curse is going to continue. That's Harriet Medden.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yep. When you go back and watch it, you're going to be like, hey, it's Thomasina Payne from Death Race 2000.
Get the dynamite, baby.
Yeah. So yeah, this was just delightful. I'm so glad. You mentioned the writers, Robert Thom and Charles B. Griffith, based on a but yeah, based on a story by Ib Melchior.
That's what it's Ib. Thank you.
Yeah, and he did Reptilicus and Planet of the Vampires. Like he's just awesome.
I do. Okay, I know Planet of the Vampires.
You're
That's
just
a cool
living
one.
in grindhouse glory in this movie. Everybody working on this has done this.
It's like you can feel the drive-in popcorn grease from your couch. It's so much fun. I gotta say, without giving context, the hand grenade joke.
Oh my God, I was just
took
gonna
me
say
out. Took me all the way out. I laughed and laughed.
It's so stupid. I loved
it.
Yep.
I was just gonna say it does high humor and then it does really low humor. And it does them both really well.
It's Corman, baby.
Yeah.
I love that you're getting like a row of all these naked buns and everybody's getting massaged and showing boobs, and you're like, this is just life, and it's all on TV.
It's the 70s in a bottle.
Yeah,
man.
And it's great. They really don't do full frontal the way they used to.
They don't do full frontal and car crashes anymore, and they should bring it back.
Put it in one movie. Or if you're gonna when you see full frontal now, it's supposed to be scary, right? I'm looking at you, Hereditary. Lots of full frontal nudity, lots of very scary full frontal nudity in that film. But
I saw The Righteous Gemstones. Thought it was pretty fun.
Oh, I still
There's
need
a lot
to watch
of hog
that show.
in that show, man. I'm just putting it out.
Wow, they let him hang dong. That's awesome.
Most of the show is Walton Goggins just hanging hog.
Wow,
nice.
Okay,
I've been meaning to watch that show,
You should.
so I'll take that as a sign.
It is scary though.
Well, it's about a church. I mean, what do you want?
No, I meant Walton Goggins. But that's my guy.
I do want to mention.
Why did Walton Goggins bring the room down? He's my hero, man.
I just started thinking about old man hogs and I got taken to a different place for a little bit. I got switch gears.
I think we all just like left the room for a second and came back.
Yeah, I got to switch gears. Hold on.
It's not you, Walton. It's us.
What's going on?
I got a close grinder and put the papas away. Hold on a minute.
Well, speaking of the nudity, I mean, like I loved when Frankenstein, played by Keith Carradine, was like, do you like to dance? And we have like a whole like dancing moment.
Thought it was kind of tender and sweet.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a word for it.
I
would have said
that's the most wholesome thing that happens in this.
I would have maybe said lascivious.
Well,
would have might have been the first
you're
word.
You're living in a buffet of lascivious. This is like finding a salad at like a Golden Corral. You're like, oh, thank God.
This is also David. This is David Carradine, like one of the first movies he made after he finished making Kung Fu, the TV series.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so, like I love the fact that this is where he's like, okay, I'm going to shake off my Cain persona and I'm going to become Frankenstein.
Mr. Frankenstein.
Totally different character. Not a revered master of his craft or anything.
Like, it's just like a hardcore S&M Vader kind of vibe, and I'm into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe you guys can shed some light onto this for me.
Probably.
Okay. He's talking about how fucked up and horrible his face is.
Yep.
Right. And then he takes off the mask and he's just like a random handsome man.
Right.
Is the idea, because I wasn't sure if I was being crazy or
in this film,
or if this was, or what, but am I supposed to let the magic of the movies help me envision that he's a fucked up cyborg man? Or is it like professional wrestling where they're like, oh, Roman Reigns broke his ribs and then still went on to WrestleMania and took the fucking belt. He kept it from John Cena. I couldn't gather if it was supposed to be that the legend was bigger than he was,
right?
Or if they just didn't have the money to make him actually look fucked.
And I think go ahead, Chad. No, it's all you. It's all you. Go.
I think that it's the legend is bigger than he is. I think he's wearing like a face mask that's supposed to make him look ugly. So when he takes it off, he's just like, I'm not actually deformed. Like
but he wasn't even ugly when he took them. He was less deformed than Gerard Butler was in Phantom of the Opera.
He has a fucked up eye. That's like the
oh my God.
But he doesn't when he takes off his mask.
He
he's normal as hell.
That's the whole point. It's just supposed to be like, it's like, I wear this to freak people out.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, yeah.
Because
I'm
also
sorry for screaming at you.
I also think there's a world in which it could be either way and nobody cares. Like it's like Like,
Okay.
I'm like, if we actually believe the story and the Swedish doctors are just that good, or that it's like, you know what, I put all this stuff on and it's part of the costume.
Yeah, I think that's what I took from that.
I thought about that for maybe 2 minutes during the first sex scene, and was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Just go with the ride.
Yep.
I do like the fact that if you take it from my perspective, where he takes the mask off and he's totally normal underneath, and he looks over and goes, "What'd you expect? Another pretty face?" I was like, "That's irony, baby."
Yeah, that was
right
good
there.
writing. Yeah, that was nice.
Yep.
I'm going to make one last reference because I was watching the credits and Louis Teague's name popped up, and Louis Teague was the one of the assistant editors and the second unit director of photography. But Louis Teague did Cujo.
Yeah.
And Alligator.
Nice.
And he's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Everyone's firing on all cylinders for like $20 and a plate of nachos in this movie.
So good.
I've never seen Alligator, but it's like way up on my list. I want to see it so.
I was going to say
horror!
That's on the list. We are watching.
Animal Horror is a great.
Oh man, then I can finally watch that fucking. What's the Australian one with the warthog that I've never seen?
Oh, Prey?
Is it called Prey?
Well, there's also one called Pig Hunt.
It's not Pig Hunt.
I was thinking it's not. It's not Australian, but I was thinking of that. That one.
Wait, are you thinking like the 1984 one, Razorback?
Razorback.
That movie rules. Razorback. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. That's a really good time.
Yeah, I was thinking of the Joe Bob Briggs vehicle, Hogzilla.
I'm not talking about Hogzilla, but I do want to watch it.
Yeah, we watched Alligator and Razorback. Yep. I mean, we're in.
I'm in on that. Let's do that.
Okay, let's Alligator, Razorback, and Zombies.
Oh wait, is that Zombievers?
No, Zombies. It's about like a zombie outbreak among the animals in a zoo.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I heard about this.
Yeah, it's like trash, but in the fun
Is it pretty
way.
Recent?
Yeah, it came out in the past handful of years.
Okay.
I feel like it was a pandemic watch for me.
It totally was. Yeah.
This will be one of our rare times.
I haven't left my house in 4 days. What's Zombies?
We'll do two throwback movies, and we'll do one newer one.
I'm totally on board to do like a whole old movie special. I just want to go ahead and say that out front.
Because streaming and screaming, it is about looking forward and looking back.
The fuck's behind me?
All right, let's do our ratings. What do we give The Demon Disorder, Chad?
Well, on my Letterboxd, I believe I gave it a 5, but that was in the middle of the thing. Up against these three, I'm gonna go 3.5 out of 5.
Lucy?
Yeah, I would give it a solid 3.5 as well. Yeah.
And I'll give it a 3.
Nice.
Whoa, okay. Right. We're kind of like on the level for once. That's crazy.
Like that's right.
Rule of Jenny Penn?
Enjoyability is tough because that always kicks it up to a 5 for me. I'm going to go 4 out of 5 because I don't want to watch it again.
Lucy?
I would give it 4.5 out of 5 because it was a stellar movie. Yep. Just a truly wonderful piece of filmmaking, but god damn it.
I don't want to take that ride again.
Yeah. I'm going to give it 4.75 because I don't give out 5s.
Price is right rules.
But man, this movie, it's probably one of my favorites. I mean, it's certainly one of my favorites of the year. I don't think I see many things touching it. It's just, although Sinners, holy crap.
Yeah, oh man, I'm trying to see that so bad. I just got to get the fucking time.
But Rule of Jenny Penn is just awesome. And again, a movie for our times.
Yep.
And Death Race 2000.
5 out of 5, no questions, no takes.
Yeah, 100%.
So good.
I'm willing to admit that I'm biased and that it's a bad rating on my part, but 5 out of 5.
It is a true classic. It knows exactly what it is.
Soul, man.
Yep. It knows exactly what it is, and it does it brilliantly right down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Go watch Death Race.
Get out of here. Go watch
on
Death
Tubi
Race.
Right now.
Love you, Tubi.
It's for free.
You can watch it for free. Yeah, what are you waiting for, people?
Get yourself.
Yeah, don't worry about what they do with your watching data. It's free.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everything's fine.
Get yourself
Everything.
A pizza pocket.
If you're not paying, you are the product.
Get yourself a late night burrito.
Your nose up in that camera is.
Nice.